What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? I'm here. I'm getting ready to move the thing now. What's up? What's up? What's up? How you guys doing? Good afternoon to you all. Hope everybody had a good day, good evening, good afternoon. Let me go ahead and share this out. So listen, you guys, first and foremost, I must thank everybody. I know it's a little early. People are still coming in the room, but I got what's up, Mimi? What's up, little baby? Thank you, my mod, for being here. First and foremost, I must absolutely say thank you to everybody who came out last night, and definitely thank you, little baby. El Teddy was in the bushes sniping, honey, and CC Freak, my newest mod. I want to thank you guys for definitely holding it down in the chat last night. It was a good time. We had a really good turnout. I was a little nervous about people coming over. I knew my folks was gonna be here, but I was a little nervous about other folk coming through. But people showed up, honey, and people was cutting up. We had a good time. I was on good behavior. They was cutting up. That daggone Reggie, baby. Reggie was cutting up, honey. But I was on good behavior. So, hey, Zap Allen. Hey, China White. What's up? Hey, Tracy. Lock Queen. Hello. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Special shout out to my members. Hey, members. So, listen, y'all. We're going to talk today about this Brittany Spears, this new documentary down to the Hulu. So, first of all, it's on Hulu. If you have not checked it out, y'all go ahead and check it out. I literally just got done watching it. I wasn't sure if I was even going to be done, but I had a meeting after work, and I was trying to hurry up and get out that meeting. It was a Zoom meeting, and I was trying to hurry up because I was like, I got to watch this documentary. So first of all, let me definitely give a shout out to Emily D. Baker. Not that she needs me to promote her or anything like that, but Emily D. Baker is an attorney down here on YouTube. She has a really, really, really successful YouTube channel, and she really breaks down a lot of the celebrity, pop culture, legal stuff. And she has absolutely been on the Britney conservatorship for a while. Now, honestly, I just sort of kind of got hip to this about, I can tell you when I came in on it. As we go through the documentary, I'll tell you when I became aware of it. Because I'm going to be honest, Britney Spears ain't on my radar. Like, after the conservatorship 13 years ago, you know what I mean? I heard stuff here and there. I knew she had a Vegas residency and, things of that nature. But I really didn't pay a whole lot of attention until some stuff started happening about 2 years ago. And it was actually a Free Britney person that sort of hit me to some stuff that was going on, because I sort of had an opinion based on limited knowledge, and they were like, you need to check this out and read this and go here and go there. And Brittany D. Baker has absolutely been on top of it. She even as recently as yesterday, she did a video, and she's going to also do a breakdown of this, and she'll be looking at it more from the legal side of this documentary. You said Brittany ain't never looked right to you. What's up, Jonathan? Oh, I get a hello first because you don't see Abby. Okay, that's cool. I see. I see how you do. I see you. You see me. We see each other. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the documentary. So there was a documentary about maybe 2 years ago now. I think it was called Saving Britney or something along those lines. I don't remember the whole title, but it was something along those lines. And it really sort of dug into what's been going on with Britney, the whole Free Britney movement, and all of that stuff, right? Then, and that sort of happened, and then we started getting some traction. And I feel like this case, well, I'm gonna say this situation took a hard left last year when she actually spoke at her hearing and basically laid it all out there. And I mean, that, that's, we've all kind of got that information. That sort of went viral because the audio went viral. Somebody was taping in the courtroom unbeknownst to the judge at the time. It was going out in real time, live and in real time. And from there, I think it just kind of went downhill from there. So let's start at the beginning. I took some notes. I got damn near 3 pages of notes here. Okay. No, I have 3 pages of notes. because there was a lot going on. So let's start from the beginning. So the documentary starts off with what I just told you, Britney's hearing and her actual words from the hearing. They play the tape and they show her fans outside of the courtroom listening to her. They were like, oh my gosh, it's Britney, it's Britney. And they're listening as she's telling her story. And again, if y'all aren't familiar with some of the stuff she said, she talked about how she has no privacy, how she's afraid, how they don't let her do anything, and how controlling this is, and how, you know, a conservatorship is not supposed to be like this. She talks about wanting to have children and how they have forced her to get an IUD. Is it an IUD? Yeah, an IUD, because they don't want her to have children. How she was forced into a mental hospital. How when she refused to do the second-rate Vegas residency, basically they lied and said that they lied to her therapist and said she was being wasn't cooperating, and the doctor put her on lithium and then forced her into this hospital. Like, just broke down a lot of that stuff, right? So that's what happened. So then the documentary sort of goes back to the beginning, and the conservatorship started in 2008. And again, I don't have to, for most of us, we remember, I mean, if you're in my age group, you know, you remember the Britney, that period of time. Britney started hanging with Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian and Lindsay Lohan, and they were partying and they were clubbing. And, you know, we remember that she started dating Kevin Federline, and people were like, he's no good. He's not going to be good for you. He was her backup dancer. He was already married or going through a divorce, whatever. They got married. Well, actually, it started before that when she had that 24-hour wedding to her childhood friend. They got that annulled, right? That happened down to the Vegas, and then they got that annulled. Then, hey, you all right? Oh, okay. Then they and then, like I said, she was partying it up or whatever. Then she married Kevin Federline, had the 2 babies. That relationship sort of fell. Again, this is a loose timeline, y'all. I don't remember every event in its order, but it's a loose timeline. That relationship started falling apart a little bit, and that's when we saw her partying. We saw her, like I said, hanging out. Then she had there were incidents. I know there was one incident where the paparazzi was following her, and she had her son in her lap because she was trying to hurry up and get away from the paparazzi. So then they made a big deal about her driving without her children in a seatbelt. There was a situation where she shaved her head off. There was a situation where she attacked the paparazzi with an umbrella. A lot of stuff happened in like a 4 or 5 year window. And it may not have even stretched out that far. The only reason why I'm feeling like it stretched out further is because of I know her children were born during this time period, and her children were like you know, toddlers, you know what I mean? They were under the age of 3 or 4. So this happened, that's why I say this happened over a 3 or 4 year window from the time she had the annulled marriage with her little, you know, childhood friend to when her father actually got the conservatorship. So if the conservatorship started in 2018, I'm gonna say this behavior probably started in maybe 2008. I'm gonna say this behavior started in maybe 2004, 2003. Somebody could probably Google when she had the right, she was carrying her baby and she tripped and she almost dropped one of the babies, and that wasn't a good look either. And again, it wasn't a good look, but the reality of the situation is, have y'all ever really seen what it looks like to a celebrity when they're coming out and the paparazzi is in their face and flashing those cameras? Like, we saw glimpses of it, but like, have you ever seen it from the celebrity's point of view? Like, all of those cameras flashing in their face at one time, people yelling, you can barely walk. I'm not defending, but even when that happened, I was like, oh my gosh, they about to turn this into a whole thing. She was carrying her baby and she tripped. I think that happens a million times, and thank God that she didn't fall. Thank God that the baby wasn't hurt, but they acting like she was being negligent. She wasn't. She was carrying her child and she tripped. Now, of course, because people were suspecting that she was on drugs or that she was drinking, that's where a lot of that came in too. So her father was able, first it was a temporary conservatorship in 2008, and then it became a more permanent situation. So I'm going to say this. When it first happened, I don't think anybody would disagree that Britney needed some help. I mean, even myself, I was loosely following it because I wasn't really following it like that. But, remember, this was before Instagram and Snapchat. This was before, everything was out there. So we would get, snippets here and there. We would see footage, on each channel and all that kind of stuff, TMZ or whatever. So, I mean, you would get little information here and there. But even when it first happened, I think most people were kind of like, well, thank God somebody got her some help. You know what I'm saying? So then the documentary, the feel of the documentary for me was very reminiscent of the Surviving R. Kelly situation, where all it took was for one person to talk, and then it was like a domino effect. When they did the follow-up, so many more people spoke after that first Surviving R. Kelly came out, and then it was like Beyond R. Kelly or something like that. And that second installment, so many more people had something to say. This was similar to that. They had that first documentary, and then Britney spoke up for herself last year. And now these are a lot of the people in this documentary are people who used to work for her. It was her former personal assistant. It was her former wardrobe manager. It was her former, a guy that used to work for the security company. And somebody else. It was three main people. I feel like it might have been a fourth, but I know there was three main people. What's up, Quintessential? Hey, babes. So all of them, of course, are afraid to talk, because they signed NDAs, and they were like, listen, we signed NDAs. We were afraid to talk because, like, legit, an NDA can be enforced. And they are telling things that they probably should not be telling. But some of the stuff that they were telling were violations of the law. And an NDA cannot be enforced if it's violating the law. So I think most of them will be okay, because some of the stuff they were speaking out against were things that, at the very least, were unethical, if not outright violations of the law. So I think they'll be all right. What's up, C Golden? Oh, I got some more members coming through. The behavior was sporadic. I thought she was getting therapy and drawing back from the industry willingly. Right. A lot. See, that's the thing. A lot of people did. But as I go through some of this stuff, I think some of this stuff is going to shock us, because it shocked me. So the first person, we have Alex, Vlaskov, I believe his name is. He worked for Black Box. Black Box was the security agency. Okay, honey, run on back over there to Avon. Drop that link one more time, little baby, if you're still in them bushes. Hey, honey, drop that link for me, boo. Black Box was, again, a security company, and they were employed to be on her 24 hours a day. She had 24 hours a day protection, security, right? And what was interesting is that Brittany Spears was their only full-time client. So Black Box was normally like that hire, security you hire when you need it for an event or a particular situation. Britney Spears was their only full-time client. That's going to be important when we start talking about this money situation and breaking down the money, okay? Alex said it's easy for all of us to point the fingers at Britney Spears. Oh, let me say this. The New York Times was doing this documentary. So these are New York Times reporters that are doing this. He said it's very easy for everybody to point the finger at Jamie Spears. He said, but what's important to understand is that there were other people around Britney who were also working in cahoots with Jamie Spears. He said once his boss, who was the head of Black Box Security. So Alex worked for Black Box Security. And I feel like out of the three people that talked, Alex probably has the most damning legal information. And when I got to the end of this documentary, I was like, depending on how hard this situation wants to be pushed, and if the district attorney down in Los Angeles County wants to push the envelope, or in Vegas, because she lived in Vegas for a number of years during this time, somebody could be going to jail when we get down to the bottom of this. So they said that her management team, Lou Taylor and Robin Greenhill, I believe her last name was, from TriStar Sports and Entertainment, were also very, very much a part of this whole conservatorship situation. It wasn't just Jamie, even though he was the head of the conservatorship, but her management also was very much a part of. He said there was a group chat and it was that those who was in the group chat. So everything that went on with Britney, it was almost like decision by committee. They all knew what was happening. They all knew the situation. And so that's kind of what was going on with that. They said that Robin, and you know, they show these pictures, and they were showing pictures of Britney with the security and with Robin, and she's in all of these pictures. And they said that, you know, she absolutely was a major part of everything that was going on with Britney during this time period. And money-wise, her management was making 5% off of everything that she was doing. And her father was making $16,000 a month plus a percentage of her deals that were made while he was over the conservatorship. Thank you, Quintessential. $16,000 a month plus a percentage of money she was making off of any deals that were brokered during his conservatorship. That would include her Vegas residency. And we're going to talk about the Vegas residency in a second. So here's the first thing that was really crazy to me. The conservatorship came at a time where people were concerned about Britney's well-being, her mental health, but they said almost immediately, as soon as her father took over as conservatorship, almost immediately she started working. Almost immediately, they had her in the studio making music. They had her on tour. They even, I ain't write all this down, but they mapped out what her schedule was almost as soon as he became her conservatorship. She did the X Factor. She did guest spots on, How I Met Your Mother, or one of those sitcoms. It was either How I Met Your Mother or The Big Bang Theory. She was acting. She was traveling. She did the X Factor. She went to Japan. And then as soon as she got back to the United States, she immediately went on tour, the circus tour. She immediately went on the circus tour. The circus tour made $100 million and was one of the most successful tours that year. Okay, so this is a woman that y'all claim was so sick and needed so much, you know, she needed so much help and people to look over her mental and physical health. But this is what it was, okay? Then, oh, I just told y'all that part. The documentary is on Hulu. It's on Hulu. And they said, and the guy that's working for the security company said, if she fought back or didn't want to do something, they always threatened her kids. Her father would be like, well, if you don't do this, you're not going to be able to see your kids. If you don't agree to do this, you're not going to be able to see your kids. So that was always the cloud that was hanging over her head, is that they would hold her kids back from her or threaten to hold her kids back from her. Because remember, her ex-husband has full custody. She has visitation. But because her father is her conservator, he can control that. All he got to do is call Kevin Federline and be like, yeah, she ain't going to get the kids this weekend. You can keep them. And Kevin, and I'm not, this is not about Kevin, because Kevin's name ain't come up in this whole situation. But let's remember, Kevin was getting child support. So I'm sure that, you know, long as the check cleared, he was like, all right, she ain't coming this weekend, boys. You know what I'm saying? They said that Britney wanted an iPhone. Everybody around her was getting an iPhone. Because remember, it started in 2008. I don't know what year the iPhone was birthed, but I'm sure that, you know, she was probably going from a BlackBerry to, you know, an iPhone. They said everybody around her had an iPhone, so Britney wanted an iPhone. They didn't want to do the iPhone because they couldn't control the iPhone. Because remember, iPhone is basically a computer. You know, you got the internet and you have this, and you have that. So again, this is the guy from the security company talking. He said his boss came to him and said, hey, I need you to do research on apps that limit accessibility on the iPhone. And he was like, well, what do you mean by that? He said parental control or anything like that, so that, you know, we can be in control of, I miss my BlackBerry too, little baby, so that we can be in control of what's going on this phone. And so her first iPhone that she got, they had parental controls on it, for as much as I guess they could have, you know, over that. What they ended up doing was getting her an iPad. No, they ended up getting an iPad and connecting the iPad to the iPhone. And that way, everything she did on the phone, they could track it through the iPad. So if she FaceTimed somebody, if she texted somebody, if she called somebody, any pictures that she took. Y'all know that for those of you who have an iPhone and an iPad that's synced, it's all connected. Everything you do on one, you can do on the other. And so that's what they ended up doing. And then they started using the phone against her. If she ain't act right, they would take her phone. They would use the phone. You know, of course, I'm sure her kids was the biggest incentive, but on a smaller scale, her phone became the incentive. Well, if you don't act right, we're going to take your phone. And they even showed a clip from a documentary that they did for the circus tour where her and her dad were arguing. And he said, get off that phone, Brittany. Give me that phone. And she was like, no. And I'm sure because the camera was there, he didn't press the issue. He just kind of walked away. But that's what the guy said. He said that was how they control her with the phone. All right. So every time something like this happened, their response would always be, oh, the court knows we're doing that. The court knows that we put parental controls on her phone. That's the part I forgot to tell you. Her security was giving her her pills every day. They put her pills in a white envelope, you know, for each dose. And she had to take her pills in front of them. So security would hand her her envelope. She had to take the pills in front of them every day. And again, the concern was raised about, like, is that legal? Like, should your security be giving you your medicine? And the response was, the courts know. The courts are aware. Now, the disclaimer from the people doing the documentary was, we have no knowledge. We have no way of being able to verify whether the courts knew this or not. So they don't know whether the courts knew, but that was always the answer. Whenever people who were working around Britney expressed concern about some of these measures, the answer was always, but the courts know. The courts know what we're doing. The courts understand what's going on. The courts understand. The courts know, whatever. So Britney had, okay, so then that's when she started doing her Vegas residency. So remember, she's just going from one job to the next. She ain't taking no breaks. No, you know, not any long breaks. I'm not saying she never took a vacation here or there, but no long breaks. But this is a woman that she was worried about her mental health. So, but by the time her Vegas residency rolled around, Jamie, her father, was making 1.5% off of the Vegas residency. And let me tell you, the Vegas residency was making almost $1 million a week. Wait a minute. Yeah, a week. Her nightly performances were bringing in almost $400,000 a night, just off of the Vegas residency. And I'm sure that includes merchandise, meet and greets. I'm sure that all of that's inclusive. But every night she went on stage in Vegas, and they said that she was banking almost $1 million a month. A month. Her father was making 1.5% of that. Now, I know that don't sound like a lot, but y'all do the math. Y'all do the math. 1.5% of $1 million a week. She did that Vegas residency for 4 years. 4 years. No type of extended breaks. Britney had an allowance. She was not allowed to even spend her own money. Her wardrobe manager talked about a time when they were at the mall. They were walking through the mall in Vegas, and she saw a pair of shoes that she liked. And she said, oh, I want those shoes. And they wouldn't let her stop to buy the shoes. So they said, her assistant was like, well, I'll go back and get the shoes. It's not a big deal. Not the assistant, the wardrobe manager. She said, I'll go get the shoes. And she was told Brittany can't afford those. She can't waste money on those. Y'all probably thinking it was a pair of Louboutins, maybe some Christian Dior, maybe some Gucci heels. Like, that's probably what y'all thinking, right? Y'all thinking that there's probably like some $10,000, heels, which, let's be clear, even if they were, she could more than afford it. Let's be clear. But no, ma'am. They were Skechers. It was a pair of Skechers. And they told her, oh, she can't afford those. Well, no, that's not a lie. That's a lie. They didn't say she can't afford them. They said she doesn't need to be wasting her money on those. I'm making damn near $1 million a week. If I want to buy the whole damn Skechers store, I can. The whole store. So what her wardrobe manager said was, she said, Brittany, I'm going to just buy the shoes and tell them they're for wardrobe. And then I'm going to tell them, oh, it doesn't work on stage. The colors clash with her outfit, and just take them home. And she said that's what she did. She said she bought the shoes under her wardrobe budget and just told Brittany to take the shoes home. But I'm like, girl, that's her money. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, that's her money. Like, why she can't? Some Skechers. Yeah. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, let's be clear. Even if they were some Christian Louboutins or some ridiculous, like, she could have said she wanted 10 Birkin bags, and I feel like she earned it. You know what I'm saying? So in 2014, there was a hearing, and at that hearing, Brittany she was trying to talk through her lawyer, but she expressed some concern because, her father was actually an alcoholic when they were growing up. And they said that he had only been out of rehab a couple of years before he became her conservator. And she was concerned and worried about maybe he had relapsed and maybe he was drinking again. Of course, the courts was like, girl, no, don't worry about that. Everything is fine. And hold on, let me make sure. I want to say it in order. I want to get it in order. Hold on. Okay. I didn't write this down. Anyway, but the judge, maybe I didn't write this down, but the judge who was hearing her concerns, the judge was like, don't worry about it. Everything is fine with your father. And by the way, how are the sales going down to the Vegas residency? Why the judge worried about how much money she making? Why is that the judge's concern about the sale of the tickets down to the residency? Now, let me talk now again. I'm excited. I'm interested to see Emily Baker's legal breakdown of this, but let's talk a little bit about that. At the beginning of this, they also talked about what the legal definition of conservatorship is, right? And conservatorship is usually when we're talking about people who can't feed themselves, who can't bathe themselves, who can't manage themselves and have no way, like it's not usually for this broad of a scope. So the fact that the judge is even asking about money when money is not even a factor in a conservatorship, because there are people who are under conservatorships who poor. There are people under conservatorships who get government assistance who are on disability. So money should never have been even a conversation. So it makes me wonder why the judge was worried about the money. I ain't saying nothing about that woman. I'm just saying, because she was her first judge. It was a woman, Judge Getz. She asked about, I did write it down. Now I see it. She asked about the Vegas sales. The other thing that we found out during this time is the guy that worked for her security firm, Black Box, he said they had a recording device in that girl's bedroom. In her bedroom, recorded all her conversations with her friends, with her lawyer, with her boyfriend. Anytime she had visitors, if they came into her bedroom, boyfriend. He said there were over 180 hours of the recordings. And again, he asked, is this legal? And the response was, the courts are aware. Now, this is why I say that he has probably the most damning evidence as it relates to this, because he was told to erase that footage. He was told to clean that hard drive and erase that footage. He said that's when he started realizing that something wasn't right. And he said he did not. Because he said he made a copy, but he did not destroy it because he said he didn't want to be responsible for destroying evidence. He said that's when something started clicking to him, making him think, hold up, something ain't right here. Because he said that it never really seemed like it made sense, but what they kept telling him basically was, well, you weren't here in the beginning. You didn't see how bad it was. You don't understand what was really going on. You're seeing things after we've already gotten her under control and gotten her off of the drugs. So what we're trying to do is prevent her from going back there. And so he was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. You know what I mean? He said, but now he was starting to realize, wait a minute, something ain't, because first of all, because he even asked about the communication with the lawyer. Because again, I mean, I don't care what kind of conservatorship you're under. You talking to your lawyer is you talking to your lawyer. And the fact that they were recording her conversations with her lawyer and her text messages and all of that, they were like, no, the court's aware. And he was like, that don't sit right with me. So he said it also seemed very peculiar to him that this happened like a couple of days before a court investigator was coming in to talk to her. He thought that was also the timing of it was a little peculiar to him. So in the court investigator, that was in 2016, some of the information that the court investigator submitted to the court, because they had gotten copies of all of this. So some of the stuff they wrote, Brittany said that she feels like the conservatorship is being used as an oppressive tool. She felt like people are taking advantage of her. She's not stupid. They don't let her drive. She's not allowed to have friends unless they are approved through her father. Even her boyfriends have to be vetted and approved by her father. Feels that her father is obsessed with controlling her. She fears punishment if she doesn't agree to do what they want her to do, and she wants it terminated. And part of what the court reporter wrote was, I feel the conservatorship has done an excellent job to get Brittany Spears to where she is today, and we should start looking at a pathway to ending the conservatorship. Now, that was in 2016. Her former personal assistant told the story of, they said that basically anybody that starts to get too close to Brittany or starts to be too friendly with Brittany, they find a way to get rid of them, or they find a way to turn Brittany against that person, make Brittany think that person is out to get her or whatever. Her former personal assistant told the story about being on tour, and they were on the circus tour. And when they were getting ready to do the European leg of the tour, they called her into the office and basically said, Brittany doesn't want you on the tour anymore. And basically that's it. Now, this woman said that she was like, I'm going on tour. If Brittany doesn't want me around, fine, I won't be around, but I will finish out the tour. We've already booked everything. Everything has already been arranged. My name is already on everything. So I will finish out the tour, but if Brittany doesn't want to see me, then I'll respect her wishes and I won't see her. And she said they did the whole European tour with her staying away from Brittany. She said on the last night of the tour, they messed around and saw each other. And she said Brittany took literally ran down the hallway and jumped into her arms and was like, where you been? Where you been? Where you been? I missed you so much. And she said, and that's when she realized, oh, okay, so this was some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I got y'all. This was some bullshit. Brittany said that she was ready to retire and she wanted more kids. And that she was promised at the end of her Vegas residency that she would be allowed some time off, a couple of years off to just rest and, you know, spend some time with her family. But as soon as she came, she ended her Vegas residency. They put her on tour, and they made her do a tour, like an actual tour, based the same as her Vegas residency, but they made it a tour. And then by the time that tour was over, they had already, they said it was a bidding war going on in Vegas for for her to do a second residency, because she was making so much damn money for Vegas, that by the time she got done with that mini tour, they immediately had her start rehearsals for a new Vegas residency. And that's where she put her foot down and was like, no, like, y'all promised me I could stop. Y'all promised me a break. And they, you know, she had done that first Vegas for 4 years straight, you know. And so she was like, no, y'all promised me that I could stop. That is when we started. That is sort of when we came into the picture, right? And this is where I first sort of became familiar with what was going on, because that's when the news started hitting that Brittany had voluntarily checked herself into, hey, Miss Venus, that Brittany had voluntarily checked herself into a mental hospital. Her dad was battling his illness. Remember when they said her dad was sick? And that's when he temporarily stepped aside and let her sister take over. Now, that's where I came in, because I did one of my tribe meetings and we talked about that. And I was like, I mean, okay. You know, I didn't see what the big deal was, because I hadn't really been following it like that. Like I said, I ain't been following Britney. I don't, you know. So I was like, well, you know, that sounds like a good thing. You know, her father, and we were even speculating whether her father was like deathly ill, because I was like, well, why would somebody else be taking over for her? Like, you know, taking over for him. Because they said he had something ruptured. I don't want to say it was his pancreas, but maybe that's what it was. Something ruptured. And it sounded really bad. Like something, you know, the word rupture just always sound bad. Like it ruptured, right? It sounds bad. Like something ruptured. So that's where I came into play. And that is where the Free Britney movement really picked up steam, was around this time, because Britney came out and said she was being held against her will. She had another court hearing, and she said that she had in May of 2019. That she had involuntarily been admitted into this mental hospital. And so then they orchestrated this walkthrough where they had Britney coming out of a hotel with her boyfriend. Of course, they called all the paparazzi. And so immediately, what did people start saying? Oh, well, she ain't being held against her will. She's hanging out with her boyfriend down at the hotel. It can't be that bad. She's with her boyfriend coming out of a hotel, right? So that's where we all sort of kind of picked up, when that's when she had another hearing where she finally did speak for herself, and she told us all that stuff with the documentary started. Jamie Spears, he defended himself. He tried to say that he's just looked out for the best interest of his daughter. He hired an attorney to basically do the press tour. And guess what he did? He billed the conservatorship for the services. He billed the conservatorship $530,000 to do this press tour, to do this damage control. Then that is when the guy that worked for the security, remember I told you, I'm telling you, he got some evidence, because I feel like for whatever evidence he showed on the documentary, he got more. You know what I'm saying? He also showed some emails that showed emails back and forth between Jamie Spears and the head of security that was telling the attorney, oh no, nobody's monitoring Britney's phone. Nobody's reading her text messages. All of her communication with you is confidential. We're not privy to that. But of course, he's got the evidence to prove that's not true. So then Jamie Spears, when everybody thought Jamie Spears said he was going to step down, that's not what he said. What he said was he was willing to step down when the time was right. And it looks like now they're fighting, again, the legal battle. They're fighting back and forth over when he'll step down and what type of financial compensation he will get from that. So y'all, the documentary is 1 hour and 10 minutes. It's not that long. It's really, really good. For everything that I'm telling y'all, I probably forgot to tell y'all some stuff. Y'all go watch it. It's down to the Hulu. The one thing that was so heartbreaking was her former wardrobe manager said, she said, Britney memorizes numbers because she knows, like they said she's figured out different things that she knows how to do. And so she memorizes phone numbers because she said every number she had has been changed. And so she said on her last day of the tour, when she knew that was going to be it for her, she went and got a Tiffany's necklace for Britney because she said Britney loves Tiffany's, and she got her phone number engraved on the back of the locket, and she told, or the back of the necklace, and she told Britney, if you ever need me, here's how you can contact me. I said, that is so sad. Like, it sounds crazy, y'all. It is so crazy. But let's talk about this money for a second. And I wish Xavier was in here. I wish my baby Xavier was in here, because Xavier said this to me again when I did that last live, when we were talking about this last year. Her estimated worth right now is $60 million. That ain't shit. Remember, she did Vegas for 4 years straight, making damn near $1 million a year. I mean, $1 million a week. That doesn't include endorsements. That doesn't include, they said her perfume line, which she has like the top celebrity perfumes on the market. That doesn't include album sales. That doesn't include any other touring that she did. That doesn't include any other money she made outside of Vegas. But she was making damn near $1 million a week for 4 years straight. Ain't nowhere in the world that woman is only supposed to be worth $60 million. Now, I'll take $60 million. That ain't shit to sneeze at. But it's nowhere in the world that that's all she's worth is $60 million. Bitch. I can tell you she does. You can tell she count when she dances. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, turn, 1, 2, 3, twist. I can tell she, that was twice. What's up, Watermelon Sugar, coming to the stage? Mwah! Hey, babes, coming to the stage. So yeah, y'all, I would recommend y'all check it out. Right, exactly, Zap Allen. Even if you take out taxes, even if you take out expenses, you could cut that in half. If you say she should have about 500 million, I'll even cut that in half and say, okay, after taxes, after expenses, after bullshit, whatever, she still should be sitting on about $250 million. And again, that doesn't include any other money. Remember, Brittany Spears was worth hundreds of millions of dollars before all of this shit happened. That's before Vegas. That was before any of this other stuff. And she's not living a lavish lifestyle because they won't let her. She's not out here buying a new car every other week. Hell, they wouldn't let the woman buy some damn Skechers. They got her on an allowance. The girl, she doesn't have her own credit cards, anything. She's on a whole allowance. What's up, Soulful Dog? Especially for a woman that's been consistently, this girl has been working since she was 10 years old. Even if she blew all the money before she was 20, let's say at 20 she was bankrupt, which we know ain't the truth. At 20 she was a multi-millionaire, but let's just say for a minute she was, okay? It makes no sense, the kind of working that this girl has been doing. Like I told y'all, her circus tour made $100 million. That was before she even went to Vegas. $100 million before she even went to Vegas. She made damn near $1 million a week for 4 years straight in Vegas. Y'all. She just bought her first iPad a few months ago. Yeah, because Cameron, I don't know if you were in here when I said that. Yeah, that's how they were controlling her, is they let her get an iPhone, but they had an iPad where they had it synced, and that's how they control what they knew. They knew what she was doing, who she was calling, and all of that through her iPad, through their iPad that they had. Remember when she went on vacation, they would only let her go to Hawaii because the conservatorship extended to Hawaii. It didn't extend, like she wasn't allowed to go to Europe unless she was working. She wasn't allowed because then she would have sort of been out of their control. Another story, I'm trying to remember. It was another story. Hold on. I was getting ready to tell it, and I lost my train of thought. It was another story they said that I was like, damn, that's crazy. Oh shoot, damn it. It's gone. I lost it. But it's like I said, it's a good. And again, I recommend, if y'all really want more information, because y'all know I can't remember everything, I recommend going to watch the documentary. And again, there was another one. I think it was called Saving Britney or Free Britney. There was another one that was done a couple of years ago. So you might want to start with that one, then watch this one. And neither one are real long. And then, like I said, Emily D. Baker, if you're interested in more of the legalities of it, Emily D. Baker breaks down the legality. Y'all, if y'all go check her out, tell her I sent you. Say, ReallyBTV sent us over here. Okay, because she's a big YouTuber. She don't need me to shout her out, but I need her to know I was shouting her out. You know what I'm saying? I know some of y'all already follow her. But she did a show yesterday talking about the latest hearing. There was a hearing on September. There's a hearing tomorrow. There's a hearing scheduled for September the 29th. So she sort of was talking about what she anticipated was going to happen based on the court documents and the court filings. And then she's going to do a show tomorrow where she's going to break down this from a legal perspective. And then she's going to talk about what happened in court. So if y'all are interested in more information, y'all go and y'all check that out. But baby, I feel so bad for Britney for all these years. I never bashed her because I knew something was wrong. Netflix dropped a doc last night too. Oh, so it's another one on Netflix, child. So it's one on Netflix too. Okay, but I'm gonna check out the one. Yeah, I could check out one on there. I could check out the one on Netflix. What was I gonna say, y'all? What Cameron was saying. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I remember when all that stuff was going on with her. Like I said at the beginning, hanging out with Paris Hilton and partying, and she had the mental. She shaved her head, and like I remember when all that was going on, and I felt bad for her. I mean, I was at a cross between feeling bad for her and feeling like, girl, go sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, as far as me making fun of her or anything, I do remember. Y'all remember the VMAs that she did, not the ones where she kissed Madonna, but the one she did after all of this. She did a VMA performance, and you could tell that she was so off. Like, she couldn't do her day. Like, she was high on something, and I don't mean drugs. I mean, they had her on some sort of mood stabilizer or something. She wasn't hitting her moves. She was lip syncing off beat. Like, she wasn't. And I was like, Britney is too professional for this. And it was horrible because she had picked up weight. You could tell. I mean, and again, Britney is a little girl. Like, her body's always been, but you could tell she had some weight on her. And I was like, damn. And I felt bad because I said, who let her ass go on stage like that? Like, clearly she wasn't ready for this. And when she did her walkthrough performance, somebody should have said, you're not ready for this. Oh, she did. Oh, her wardrobe manager told the story. Oh, the VMAs with Rihanna and 50 Cent was laughing at her. She talked about when she first went out on tour. You know how they have I forgot what she called it, but basically it's like a little box where they can do wardrobe changes and stuff like that. And she said it's air conditioned and it was really nice, but it was an area so that she wouldn't have to go all the way backstage to do her wardrobe changes. It's usually under the stage. I know what I'm talking about. They said when Britney, the first night of the tour, Britney went in there to do her wardrobe change, and they said Britney came out screaming and a quick change. Okay, thank you, babe. They said she came out screaming and hollering, and she was like, I can't go in there. It smells like weed. They're gonna think I'm on drugs. She said, I have to pass my drug test. And they said she was absolutely hysterical because she was like, they're gonna keep my kids from me. If I fail my drug test, I won't be able to see my kids. And she said it smelled like weed, and she was like, I can't be in there because it's gonna mess up my drug test. And they said that they had to like run after her and coerce her back and get her. They made her go in there. They made her do her change and finish the performance or whatever. But they said she was absolutely hysterical at the thought that the fact that she might be getting a contact high, that it would cause her to fail her drug test. Was it the one with the mirrors that they took away? I don't know. It might have had mirrors in it. I don't remember if she said they had. No, they didn't take it away, though, because they made her go in there and use it anyway. Now, I don't know where the weed was coming from. I don't know who was smoking the weed. But clearly won't her. Child. So, yeah, I recommended y'all. I'm going to watch, like I said, I'm going to watch Emily D. Baker tomorrow night. I might not watch it live, but I'm definitely going to check it out and see what she's talking about, because, baby, it was definitely a good, if you're interested in Britney's story, it was good. It was a good follow-up. It was a good information. I still look at Justin in a different light after that, after the documentary too. Yeah, because everybody had, the whole world had us thinking that Britney did Justin wrong, and come to find out that won't even how it went down. Had us thinking that Justin did Britney Justin was Britney did me so wrong, and that ain't even how it went down, child. But they were young. I mean, I can't really be mad at both of them. I mean, they were young. They were young. You know what I mean? Mistakes were gonna be made, child. Honey, yeah. So that's what it is, y'all. I thought I would come here and give y'all a little review. It's called Controlling Britney. It's on Hulu. And it dropped yesterday. It came out, I think either the 27th or the 24th. I think it was the 27th though. But it's new. I mean, it's recently. If you go into Hulu, all I did was type in Britney and it popped right up. So, but it's called Controlling Britney. Justin was running around screwing over everybody back then, child. All right. Well, that's it, y'all. I'm gonna keep this to just Britney. I don't want to get off on other things. Everybody seemed to enjoy my Housewife and the Hustler. So I said, well, let me do a Britney. Let me see how everybody feeling about the Britney situation. I heard that they're going to be doing a Housewife and a Hustler version for Jen Shaw. Now, in that situation, I guess they can't call it the Housewife and the Hustler so more, but I guess they're going to call it the Housewife, the Thief. I don't know. The Fraud. I don't know. I guess they're going to find something to say about her. But they supposed to be doing a version of that. So y'all know I'll be back for that, honey. What's up? What's up, Star? Hey. So thank you. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button on your way out and hit that like button on your way out too, honey. It's free 99. Free 99. Don't cost you nothing to hit the like button. It don't cost you nothing to subscribe. Again, thank you guys who were here last night. We had a really good time. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate my mods who was holding it down. That video already has over 1,000 views, so it was definitely a good time. And I will see y'all later. What day does your new favorite show, Our Kind of People? It comes on the night. It comes on Tuesday night. So Queen Sugar comes on the night. Our Kind of People come on the night. I have a podcast to do at 8:30, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get either one of those reviews out tonight. But they'll be out tomorrow. The Coach and the Player. That's a good one, Tracy. The Coach and the Player. The Housewife is the Hustler. I came to your video after I watched Erica. You have views. Child, oh yeah, the views on that video are like, I still have that's still in my top 5. That's still in my top 5. I get a couple of 100 views a week off of that video. That video has over 15,000 views on it. Yeah, it was pretty successful. So I'm excited about that. All right, y'all. I'm out. I will see y'all tomorrow. Mwah. Peace.